All right. Ooh, for the first time today, we have Roos getting through.
Ooh,
So
exciting.
each of the last two series, we've pretty much seen Roos exclusively banned on both sides. And so looking at this draft, SAS, Roos, JD, Ottomans, and ABBA. And kind of interesting, if you watch SAS's streams, I've been seeing him play Ottomans a lot lately. While not considered one of the top civs, I think SAS has really enjoyed playing them based upon what I've seen on his streams and seems to be enjoying the Civ, so maybe that's why he decided to get them here. On the other side, KnockKnock, Byzantines, Delhi Sultanate, that'll be the first time we'll have the opportunity to see Delhi if they're picked, Mongols, and Malians. So maybe the LAN event last weekend sort of changed people's minds about Mongols, right? Mongols had a 75% showing at the LAN event there, so players are maybe looking at them a little bit more. Maybe. I'm optimistic. Mongols my favorite civ.
Fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed.
Yeah, listen, I would love a Mongols game.
Oof. Yeah, definitely. So, okay, I'm just updating everything here. They are playing. Oh, come on, can I just.
So looks like game 2 is going to be Dry Arabia. Am I seeing that right?
Yes.
And then as far as the civs are concerned, I'm trying to pull that up right now.
Interesting.
Ooh. So it's gonna be, I believe it's Rus Malians on Dry Arabia is what it looks like, right?
Yep. So let's go update that. So the first one was, yeah, Jeanne d'Arc against Byzantines. I don't know who won that one. I can probably check real quick. Should be in the
It,
match history.
it
Yeah.
hasn't been reported, but you can check in match
Yeah,
history.
so that was on Rocky River, right? And so KnockKnock did lose that, which means that SAS won with Jeanne d'Arc. So let's update that. Yeah, so SAS is up 1-0. He's playing the Rus now against Malians on Dry Arabia. So they are
Okay.
in lobby right now. So I should be.
So we should
Okay.
be getting that game coming up relatively soon. Roos, I don't think can play meta into this matchup. Obviously, I think we're going to see pro scouts on both sides, Malians and Roos. Absolutely pro scout civs here, but I
Mm.
feel like if Roos sort of fast castles into, let's say, horse archers, which is the common meta with Roos right now, Malians laughs and javelin throwers. Could be wrong there. Castle Age horse archers might perform a little bit better into Feudal Age uh, jav throwers, but I kind of feel like Malians has a lot of answers to what Roos is going to want to do here.
Yeah, that's the thing. So the horse archers, they're getting countered, like in theory at least, also by the Donzos. They're getting countered by the javelin throwers, and so could be could be kind of tough to make them work. Um, but yeah, with the pro scouts, I would definitely see a lot of expect a lot of pro scout action here.
But
Um,
I also think about this: if you wanted to play Roos in sort of not a traditional like two town center sense, but like a one TC feudal aggression sense, I think Roos has a lot of viability here in this matchup because they have access to feudal age knights, which is really powerful, and they get the wood drop off because of their towers to sort of help them prop up that back line of archers here. Definitely curious to see how SAS plays it, but we are going to jump in game here in 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
have another
So
four
we got
minutes.
a little bit of an observer delay, and yeah, it's a little tough pill to swallow here, but we'll make it through this. Yeah, Roos probably going to be played a little bit off meta here, I would say.
Yeah, I at least wouldn't be surprised if it would be played off matter. But well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I have ever have been favored to play that matchup, so I'm not sure if I can really if I'm qualified to really comment on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the timing for Roos's Castle Age, the ability of them to kind of scoop relics, the passive resource Roos generates, maybe SAS feels comfortable playing that into sort of a Malian Cowboom type. Also, Malians, they've had some recent changes. Cowboom is probably what you see most of the time, but we've also been seeing the Farimba being played a little bit, seeing a lot of the Mustafadi warriors out of the Farimba. So I don't know. With KnockKnock kind of being up in a game decider, maybe he plays it a little bit more straight up, a little bit more meta.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, so since SAS is up one game, he might actually, feel comfortable to play either a little bit more greedy or just to, he's not with the back to the wall basically, and so he can play it a little bit, yeah, more with mind at ease, and yeah, we'll see. I
Yeah,
mean,
so yeah, minute 50 seconds spawn's also going to play a little bit into this Dry Arabia. I like to call it the most vanilla of vanilla maps here.
mm,
But if Malians get some back gold spawns, if Malians get some forward gold spawns, that's going to really play a factor into the decision making of SAS, right? A forward gold spawn from on Malian's side kind of is a window of opportunity for maybe SAS to say, hey, we're going to play feudal, and I'm going to 1TC all in you with what is a very powerful Civ right now in Roos. And maybe he'll bypass Pro Scouts altogether to accomplish that. But if KnockKnock has a back gold spawn, a little bit harder to kind of apply pressure to that critical resource for Malians, maybe SAS goes with a 2TC approach. Maybe he goes with sort of fast castle into a second TC approach. All of those could be viable and very spawn dependent. So hopefully, you know, I don't know. I'm curious to see it. I don't see this matchup too often, right? Do you recall seeing this much at the LAN event last
um,
weekend?
let's see. I mean, there were a lot of. I believe I think I've seen it once actually. Because so we had Coastal Cliffs as well in the map pool for the LAN event for the garrison, and Malians were played like almost every game that Coastal Cliffs was played. We saw either Malians or Jeanne d'Arc on that, and I believe once we saw also Roos. And I think we actually did see a Malian Roos matchup, but I mean, don't quote me on that. Like, I'm
I
not.
actually do recall kind of seeing that, but in a few seconds here, we're going to be in game. Observer delay has ended, and we are diving into it. So, on the north side of the map, in the color blue, we have SAS as the Rus. Kind of on the south side, in the color purple, which is just a beautiful color, especially if you're a Byzantine enjoyer, you do have KnockKnock, and as I kind of alluded to, you got that back gold spawn, which is just so nice as a Malians
Mm.
player. And you've got that second gold vein all the way in the south corner too that is relatively safe and protected.
Yeah, you
I,
can wall it
I
off fairly easily with the one like wood line over here. Just have a little wall and then connect to the other wood line, and then you're basically set. And then the third wood pit mine a little bit out there, but still relatively close to the base, close to the border of the wall of the map as well. So not too close to the roof. So could be difficult for the Roos to punish Malians early on. We see a double hunting cabin opening by Roos, by SAS here, and now he's adding a house because, yeah, obviously, yeah, he needs houses.
Yeah, no surprise. Again, double hunting cabin opening, very common. Second scout is now on the field. So SAS should have the sheep advantage. First scout is kind of being very aggressive on the south side of the map over by where Gully Deckle should spawn. And the other scout is kind of working his way, from north to east there to cover the rest of the map. And yeah, just kind of look at that. SAS is probably going to come away with most of the sheep here. Gully Deckle coming in with 4. and gonna have to sort of make a. I'm sorry, not gully, KnockKnock, purple color. Gonna have to make a beeline there. And he might be able to collect another 3-4, depending on how SAS' scout how quickly he gets over. SAS' scout might be a little too late to get those. So yeah, KnockKnock. Scout going right by it. Oh, he catches it. So, alright, 8 total sheep against Roos is not. That's actually pretty good in my opinion.
Oh yeah, and that was also very close to SAS' scout here, so just a couple of seconds later, and it would have been 2 more sheep for SAS. So overall, in terms of what SAS already had to invest into the scouts, not too bad for KnockKnock, and some nice extra sheep at the beginning of the game always feels good. Monster Quarry coming up with 6 villages, so he wants to have it very fast. And on the other hand, we have the Golden Gate. Not really a surprise here.
Yeah, what is surprising is the placement of this Mansa Quarry. Very often I see sort of, and this could be alluding to KnockKnock's plan here, you see the Mansa Quarry at the front of the base because you build your cow boom backwards.
Yeah.
So maybe this is alluding to the fact that KnockKnock doesn't want to play cow boom and maybe wants to play Farimba.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, as you said, like you would either expect it like more on the top side or maybe on the right side as well, or he could even, well, yeah, you could also fit it in here. But it also could mean that he just wants to have all that space here for military production and will go for the cow boom, like maybe to the right side, because he has a ton of space to work with here. So it definitely could allude to that idea. So it makes you wonder if he is going for a Farimba after all. I guess we're gonna find out in about 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, and SAS doing the most annoying thing for every Malians player, 3 scouts just burning your houses down. It's just great use of those scouts right there. You're gonna have a villager constantly repairing it, otherwise you're gonna lose a house. 2 are there, but the 3rd one is on his way over. And 6 scouts out for SAS. That screams pro scouts. Absolutely, we're gonna get pro scouts here. Probably in the next, as soon as they drop off the wood. Pro scouts will get queued up.
Yeah, so SAS already has enough resources. There it is. So pro scouts coming in 1 minute and 10. Malians already on the way, so we'll be there just 10 seconds faster. Just 1 second too slow to repair that house. So the Malians, the houses, they did get 10% more health, so 50 health more than they used to have in the patch before. Same for the pit mine, it was 1.5 and now it's 1.6. But still, like if you have a couple of scouts, you know, you're dealing like, what is it, like 13 torch damage, you can get it down fairly quickly, even though it has 50 health more.
Yeah, this is so annoying. 5 scouts, perfect use of those scouts while SAS waits for the pro scouts to come in. And all these scouts on this side are just going to go over to his deer pack, steal a deer, and then go home. Second house kind of going down there. And you have a stables coming out from KnockKnock, so we're going to get the first sofa. And just little by little, just draining away KnockKnock's resources here. He's got to spend the wood to repair this house to keep it up, you know, from being burnt down, and just absolutely annoying to deal with if you're the Malians player. First sofa kind of comes out. He's going to drive away those scouts. Not necessarily on the right side of the map, but maybe they're trying to act as sort of a screen because you have 2 other scouts picking off deer from KnockKnock's deer pack, and not going to be able to outrun the sofa. The sofa is a little bit faster. KnockKnock scout gets over. I think he realized he's been robbed. And he sees those scouts kind of running away with that.
Yeah, and so SAS actually losing one of the scouts here to the town center, but he's up to 10 scouts, 2 more in queue just coming out right now. So With 12 scouts, that's quite a lot of scouts to grab those deer and bring them home. So I don't see a real like effective way for KnockKnock to prevent that from happening, other than yeah, just doing it just yourself with just 2 scouts that he has right now.
Yeah, and that forward sofa is going to be able to delay a little bit of SAS's pro scouting on the west side here. But SAS made away with quite a few of KnockKnock's deer. So, very annoying in the opening minutes of this game for KnockKnock. Gotta be a little frustrated.
Yeah, that can't feel well.
Yeah, and here we go. We have the barracks, so we're gonna get a couple spearmen to sort of, you know, defend the deer packs. And ooh, so if it gets a little too close to the TC, is gonna go down from that garrison. Little bit of a painful loss there for KnockKnock, but KnockKnock secured most of his first deer pack with SAS didn't steal. He's got 5 others, and then I think he's gonna turn his attention towards SAS's deer packs, which have basically all been taken. So
yeah,
we
by
are
now
through
they've all
the
been
pro
taken.
scouting. And there's that second pit mine going up on the south part of the map there. So high trade house coming in. So we are getting, you know, meta play out of SAS here. Not sure how this is going to work. KnockKnock doesn't seem too far off of his own age up, but we also have these cattle ranches coming down.
Yeah, so I think overall SAS did invest a lot in the pro scouts, and in comparison didn't get like as much maybe out of it as he would like to. Just because KnockKnock also got a very fast pro scout and then had a couple of scouts on the way, and so he was able to more or less contest that. But still, SAS got a couple of extra deer out there, so that always feels nice. And yeah, as you mentioned, a quick, fast castle age here, and KnockKnock will still take, yeah, maybe 1 or 2 more minutes, and then he will be able to go into castle age himself, which he might have, like SAS at that point might already have a couple of relics if he decides to go for that.
Yeah, SAS absolutely will go for that. We're not going to get the full cow boom, at least not right away. And okay, so we're not even going to get a full complete cow boom. We've got a Farimba. And I thought this might be the case. So we'll have to see which of the 3 unique units he goes with. The Mansa Mustafati, the Mansa Javelineer, or the Freeborn Warrior. From when I've seen this build sort of played, Freeborn Warrior seems to kind of be the go-to there.
Yeah, if you had a lot of javelin throws out, I think the Javelineer would have been a good choice to switch into that. But other than that, yeah, I think Freeborn Warrior makes quite a lot of sense here. But I mean, he surprised me once. He might surprise me another time. So I don't want to, you know, bet on what he's going to. But it is gonna be the Mansa Javelineers actually. Okay.
All right, we have horse archers coming over, harassing the berries in front of KnockKnock's base there, and food is going to be very important to KnockKnock. He does have a lot of deer under his TC, so he's fine. But without the full-blown cow boom, he's going to have to farm transition a little bit earlier. He's going to have to kind of watch his food. SAS, meanwhile, on the south pit mine, got a couple spearmen there, a scout there, going for the houses, trying to apply some pressure. It's pretty deep in KnockKnock's base here, so he has to be careful not to get caught out. But yeah, KnockKnock coming in with the veteran Mansa Javelineers. So they also have poison damage. Ooh, good raid on the wood line there. Horse archers picking off one villager there.
Yeah, and I guess against the horse archers, the Javelineers make even more sense now. Just gonna bleed to death here. But you do need to get your numbers up still, so just a couple of Javelineers. You can still contest it with the Horse Archers because you do a lot of extra bonus, like, not extra bonus damage, base damage. And so even though you have a good ranged armor here with the Javelineers, still doing a lot of damage here with the Horse Archer. It's just so annoying to deal with. You can see us kiting and the back and forth and all that, so it's very obvious to see why Horse Archers are such a preferred unit choice here for the Roos currently.
But you have a men-at-arms switch coming, and KnockKnock might not be fully prepared for this. Mansa Javelineers, though, do poison damage, so they will eventually, you know, nick these men-at-arms down, so SAS has to kind of pull back a little bit. And there's actually a lot of them. KnockKnock has 10 on the field, 6 more in queue. These guys, he's equalizing his military very quickly here, and Horse Archers, not very valuable. Meanwhile, the relic collection on SAS' side continues. You have the Warrior Monk kind of moving out, going for that South relic of KnockKnocks. SAS playing a tiny bit greedy, wants a 5 relic game.
Yeah, and as Gulidek pointed out in chat, so the Javelineers also quite a lot faster than the men-at-arms, and so they can more or less kite them indefinitely if they wanted to with their 1.38 move speed. And so overall, I mean, like, you just need to add some kind of front line maybe, which a little bit tough for Malians to do. You don't really have the classic men-at-arms as the Malians, so what are your options anyway for frontline if you're not going for sofas?
Yeah, this is where it becomes a little bit awkward for Malians. They don't necessarily have the same eco they would on Calboom. I think he's just gonna go full Japs, to be honest with you.
Okay.
He'll have to micro it properly, but yeah, full Japs makes perfect sense here.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can do that, and they're super fast, so you can see they're doing quite well here in the fight. The issue that you have is they're overkilling way too hard right now, because they don't, like, you know, if you look at the damage they do and then the health that your opponent has, just way overkilling them. And so a little bit of, you know, quote-unquote wasted damage here. So that's one of the reasons why I would not go for a Javelineer only comp.
Well, so one thing you have to keep in mind versus SAS' current comp, they can kite, right? They move at 138. Men-at-arms don't move nearly as fast. They move at 112. SAS doing the right thing. You've got veteran horsemen starting to hit the field, and that is the correct counter here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, like, once you hit the field with a couple of horsemen for SAS, the Javelineers don't do that hot anymore, I feel, so...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, with enough mass, and KnockKnock is committing. We're gonna test this theory, but I think it can work. These Javelineers are fast, they have high base damage, currently doing 10, plus they get the poison, so that works pretty well against, you know, most units. But if SAS gets enough horsemen and he catches KnockKnock off guard, it could be devastating. I think KnockKnock could add Donzos in. I don't see a barracks though, so I don't think we're gonna get any Donzos in. And here come the horsemen, and I think KnockKnock, for seeing these for the first time, starts kiting back. And I mean, horsemen are dying pretty quickly, but there's just not enough of them. I don't think they're not getting their damage.
No, right now it's not enough. I think SAS should have waited for a little bit more. But I mean, still, the thing is with kiting, you can only kite if you have the place to do so, and at some point you are stuck. And so I don't, like, right now it's like, okay, I'm back in my base, which, yes, the town center provides some additional fire, but also there's still so many men-at-arms here, and kind of tough to deal with that. He lost about 10 Javelineers, and wow, and whew, okay. Not exactly how I expected that to go. A little bit of an abrupt ending here.
Yeah, I mean,
Whew.
if I'm gonna be honest, I'm just thinking about what tools are in Malian's toolbox, and so
Yeah.
KnockKnock needed to add some Donzos in for the horsemen, but then the Donzos are just gonna get destroyed by the men at arms there.
Yeah.
So I really think that's just had a perfect comp here, right? That's what it felt like. The horseman switch came at the perfect time. I thought the Jabs would perform a little bit better because of the extra poison damage, but they just they took the horseman down, but they didn't solve the men at arms at that point, right? And then he
No.
kited all the way back into his base, and there's nowhere to go. You can't kill the men at arms fast enough.
Yeah, and then
So
you don't even have the uncontested passive income, so you didn't have the full cow boom with the um. Well, come on, help me with that. The landmark. What's the name? Not a Fergal Garrison.
Grand
Corral,
Filani,
Flyer,
Grand,
yeah, that is the Grand
yeah,
Filani
Grand
Corral.
Filani.
He didn't have uncontested pit mines, and so you can see by the resources gathered, that's like the difference here is so huge. Um, Even though villager count most of the game was very even, but yeah, it's just Rus, and they're also having a strong eco. Even though you might not necessarily, like see it that way, but they do have a strong eco, and they do have a strong military, and you combine that, and you have a hard time. Wow, look at
Yep.
the difference here. Oh my goodness. And yeah, not to mention, so five relic rules. It's not HRE, but five relics does feel good no matter what civ you play. So
Yeah.
wow. All right, strong game. So I mean, I guess I don't even need to update that in as well. I'll just do it anyway. So SAS winning this one, which means he wins against KnockKnock 2-0, which is quite incredible because KnockKnock again, he's Conqueror 3 player as well. So SAS made it look definitely look easy, which I know it wasn't.